Welcome to the Super Good Camping Podcast. I'm Pamela.
And I'm Tim.
And we're from supergoodcamping.com. We're here because we are on a mission to inspire other families to enjoy camping adventures such as we have with our kids. And today we wanted to do something just a little bit different. We have our very first ever non-family guest on our podcast today. We'd like to introduce you to a camping celebrity from around these parts. She's been exploring and adventuring outdoors since she was a child. She's an extremely experienced four-season camper, largely backcountry for the last couple of decades. And by four-season, we mean she winter camps too. She is an amazing YouTube channel. She's got a website, she's on Facebook and Instagram, and she camps like just about every other weekend and does multi-day trips. So we're very thankful that she could squeeze us into her busy schedule. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Camper Christina.
That was so nice. Thank you.
In all her glory.
There you go. So I want to throw out there, first question, how awesome was it to be back at the Outdoor Adventure Show and to be presenting? Like, seriously, how cool was that?
It was so good. It was really good. It was funny. We were chatting before the show. I was talking to Kevin, you know, we're all friends and behind the scenes, most of us. And we were saying, you know, we got these great presentations ready, but we don't know if anybody's going to show up because we really didn't know what it was going to be like. 2 months before the show, probably. I didn't even think it was going to happen. I honestly never thought it would happen. So it was good. It was really, really good to get back out there, get in front of people and meet people and talk to everyone, and just worth everything. It was worth every minute. It was great.
I'm so glad. I saw it as one of, I think it was maybe Kevin's running around like a lunatic with a camera.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But Tunis was like, yeah, Friday was a little quiet. Today is awesome.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the most succinct sort of quote for the weekend, right? Like everybody's like, just, oh, we're so glad to be back out here again. Yeah. So I want to talk to you today, ideally for our listeners, about, in particular, we hooked up because I saw that you had a backcountry for beginners course, and a lot of our listeners are new to the sport.
That's great.
I didn't know, we'll get to it later, I didn't know that you had a winter camping thing, which I apparently need to sign up for because I haven't done any winter camping.
It's on the bucket list.
It's on the bucket list.
Beginners.
Well, there you go. See, how did you get into backcountry camping? And we're going to segue that into how did that make you want to write to design a course for other people that would want to get into backcountry camping?
I like, first off, that you said right, but I'll get back to that when I talk about the course. But you know, I started out like anybody. I was a little kid. We used to go up north when we were little, and that was like, you know, the Muskokas and Algonquin at the time, you know. And I loved it. I loved going out there, and, you know, we would get up in the morning, go out and look for blueberries to put on our Frosted Flakes cereal. And my parents would go fishing and stuff. I had a leech incident, which came from
I saw pictures.
I've had those.
But when I was a little kid, yeah. And I loved it. And then we used to go every summer. And then for some reason, we started going to Florida after a while when I was about 9, 10-ish, and that was cool too. But I always wanted to go back to the north. I always missed it, and I really loved it. So when I started getting old enough to go camping, I kind of went out there, and you know, it was tough. I had a couple of boyfriends here and there that kind of would get interested in it, and I'd go for a few years, and then we'd break up, and you know, I wouldn't get to go again. And after a while, I started saying, you know what, this is dumb. Like, I'm just going to start going by myself.
But depending on these men, geez.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't a thing, right? I mean, there weren't even solo canoes when I started. I started out kayaking because you couldn't go in a boat canoe by yourself. So there was kayaking, and I took a course, and you know, I started going. And then in 2015, Woods Canada had a contest. And to become the Woods Explorer, they were going to pay somebody $20,000 to explore the TCT. And it was for their 150th like anniversary, because they were going to connect the TCT for the Canada's 150. And I applied. Of course, I didn't win, but it took me about 3 weeks to get this resume together. And I put all these like backcountry trips and everything that I had done. And I started really missing it. And I said, you know what, this is dumb. I don't need to win a contest to do this. So I started a blog, and that held me accountable, because all of a sudden I was like, okay, I'm going to publish something every week. And I have done that since 2015, whether it be a blog post or now a video. I've published a YouTube video, a minimum of one every single week for over 5 years now. I have 500 videos on my YouTube channel.
Wow.
So it's a lot of work. But it held me accountable, because people, once I said I was going to do it, I had to do it, and people were waiting, and, summer ended and then fall came, and then I'm like, well, what am I going to do? I can't be hiker Christina. So then I started winter camping, and that's how I became a year-round camper. And then I created my hot tents, because I hate the cold. I like going out and doing stuff in the snow, but at nighttime, I use an electric blanket all year round in my house. Yeah. So made a hot tent. Perfect. And then it was too big and too heavy. So then I made a solo, which is my passion, to go solo backcountry. I love that. And then I also made a bigger tent. So now I have the two that I use. And then I camp year round doing canoe and kayak trips, mostly canoe trips.
Way
So
cool.
that's how I got into backcountry, sort of, in a really long way.
No. But I think we all didn't just fall into it, like just poof, suddenly we're backcountry camping.
My first backcountry trip, I was 32 years old.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How did you prepare for that? Like, how did you?
Oh my gosh, I took
your
it
course
so
to do.
seriously. I planned for 6 months. I went to the library and I took out all these books and videos. I didn't know how to paddle a canoe, so like I took out a video, and I had this, those cardboard gift wrap tubes. I was kneeling on the couch, and I was like, okay, this is how you do a stroke. And
J-stroke.
yeah,
That's awesome.
everything. I got a friend's dehydrator. I figured out how many calories I'd need in a day to give me enough energy to do the portages. Like, I was like really, really, really serious about it. And I learned all this stuff. And then we went out and did a 5-day trip. My first trip was a 5-day trip, not the solo, my first backcountry. Yeah,
That's
it was
fantastic.
a 5-day trip through Algonquin, Rock, Louisa, that killer long portage. I think it was a 2.5K. Yeah, so it was great, and I fell in love, and I just wanted to keep going back and going back.
That's excellent. We're going to get along just fine. I'm a bit mental like that. I researched the crap out of everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the thing started a couple of years ago, and people couldn't go anywhere. And all of a sudden there was this huge spike in camping. Well, everybody was trying to go camping, and then they would go to the campgrounds, and the campgrounds were full. Yep. So then they just go, oh, okay, well, we could just rent a canoe and we'll go in the backcountry. No problem. And there was all these terrible things happening. All of the backcountry people noticed it, people in like the social media circle and stuff, YouTube, we all kind of were like, wow, what is going on? Like, there's garbage everywhere. And it's not, I'm not complaining, but people didn't know what to do. Some people would leave their garbage at the curbside of the campsite by the lake, thinking that somebody is going to come and pick it up. Like, so there were all these things going on, and people were going out. There was drownings happening. There were bears having to get, rehabilitated or moved because people were leaving food out because they didn't know that, oh, there's a bear, he might come and eat my food. And then the next person comes and he's going to try to eat their food because he's gotten my food. And so there were so many things, and there's so many things to learn. It's not just hey, let's jump in a canoe and it's just like car camping. And it's not. There's a lot of things that are different. And I wanted to do what I could to help stop that, or help people to learn and to get educated and to go out there and do the right things and leave no trace and not leave their garbage and clean up and not attract the bears and not get hurt and not drowned. So I spent 5 months creating a course. It's massive. Tim, you've seen it.
Yep.
I don't know if you've seen it, Pamela, but
I've heard it.
There's 5 hours of footage. It's 112 video lectures. It sounds like a lot, but they go by quick, right? They're all broken down into sections of food and, food storage and clothing and all the different things, shelter and sleeping, and hopefully people are learning from it. And there's little quizzes at the end of each chapter, which I love. I made some goofy little jokes in some of them, and just to kind of keep people entertained and, stuff like that. So yeah, that's what I did. And then in November, I created a winter one too. So yeah, now I have a winter and the backcountry camping.
Great. So now I have to buy the winter course because I don't know. For me, unfortunately,
right,
I don't have enough days available, and because I'm a building manager, we swap weekends for who's on call, so it becomes a bit of a deal to find time to get out. But it's definitely a bucket list thing. I want to do winter camping, and I've been trying to convince people to do it with me for a couple of years. It's not happening.
You'll be warm. Trust me. I guarantee you'll be warm.
Excellent.
Well, I know
I have easy tricks that you can just go to a car campground, use the gear that you already have, bring a space heater, just don't go when it's -40, but like, yeah, easy ways to get out there in the winter that you don't have to spend a lot of money. See if you like it first, maybe spend time in a yurt and go from there.
I'm pretty
That's
sure I'll
how I
like it.
started.
It's camping, it doesn't matter. I'll like it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
But you're out doing stuff all day, and then you get to be warm inside at night, if you have a hot tent.
Right.
Cold camp, that's a whole different story, but I cover that as well.
Cool. Well, yeah. I mean, we even we bought last year we went, no, sorry, 2 years ago, we do a fall camp trip. Sorry, we not me and the two boys. We do a fall camp trip, and we hit a really crappy weekend. It poured all weekend, temperatures dropped, we were freezing. So we made do. I bought way better bags, and what a difference that made to spend that kind of money on the bags. But I can't imagine I'll ever regret that. So yeah, we could be headed towards winter camping.
Yeah, one of those nice red rubbery hot water here. One of these.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
One of these. $7.99 at the Home Hardware. Stick it in here. Go to sleep. Oh, it's lovely. It's lovely.
You, Home Hardware, and Dollarama. Seriously, I need to shop with you.
Oh yeah, there's lots in my course you saw, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like I've spent so much money on stuff. That's what I could have spent half that money, man. So give me a couple of mistakes that you think that people would make, newer backcountry, especially entry level people, mistakes that they might make. Food at the edge of the site, thinking people might come through and clean that up for them. That your course could give them insight into, nope, that's not the way to go about it.
Food storage is huge. That's like right at the top of the list, because I mean, if you're attracting animals, it's not only bad for you and the animal. I mean, it's also bad for the animals, bad for you. And then it's bad for every person that comes to use that campsite after you.
Yep.
Because most animals are habitual. And if they go in and they find the jackpot, they don't want to come and hurt you or anything. They just want food. Animals want your food. They're hungry. You give them these sugary snacks and all these delicious things and marshmallows, and they're like, woo! And then they get one. And so every time a person comes, they're like, people, food. And they come and they look for the food, and, they do anything they can to get it because those marshmallows are tasty, right?
Or sugar cubes for your coffee.
Yeah, everything, right?
With sugar cubes.
Citronella candles. I've had a berry, my citronella candle before. So yeah, they like that. And it's bad for everybody. It's not just, oh, darn, I don't have any food, I'm going to paddle out hungry. It's, you got to think about what that means for all of the other people that go there and for the animals, because if the animals start to become a nuisance, they might have to get put down or taken out or put somewhere else, relocated. So it affects everybody and everything. And it's really important to do the right things, not just for, your own protection, but for a lot of other people's. So I'm very passionate about it. Sorry, it's stuff I get.
No. It's
and
great.
That's why I made the course, right? Because I want people to do the right things so that all these things can work in harmony, and I can go out there and you can go out there and nobody has problems, right? So
yeah, no, I absolutely agreed. It's that, again, to your point of especially the last couple of years, my eldest, my much taller eldest, he's my camping partner, and the two of us have just been looking around going, oh my God, what's going on? This is not what we're used to seeing.
Parties, noise.
And it's a lack of education. I mean, I'm absolutely certain that there are some people that they just don't care, but we've had those all along. So that's not a new thing, right?
Yeah.
We watched people last year going through a portage carrying a cooler on wheels, and I just stopped and went, I can't believe I'm seeing this.
I was at McCrae Lake a couple of years ago, and there were, those big, huge, like flamingo like type floaties. There were people on that going out camping in the backcountry with all their stuff on this big swan, and they had this oh, it was, wow, yeah.
No.
You know what? Whatever you need to do to get out there. I mean,
Agreed. That's definitely
cooler,
that's our mantra as well.
Make a cooler or keep an animal from getting into it, and that's the concern. Do whatever you want to do. Be respectful, but you got to protect everybody at the same time.
Right?
So,
yeah. That the cooler on
if
wheels.
they would have had a bear vault, I would have been okay with it.
Yes, but not necessarily all the places that they don't always have bear vaults. So that cooler on wheels wasn't going up in a tree at the end of the day. I'm sure of it. So yeah.
No, I was talking about one of these. My golden.
Oh, yours are cool. Yeah. I don't know. I'm much as I'm stupid and spend far too much, I don't go to the Dollarama. I go to Mountain Equipment. I also refuse to spend the money on a bare barrel when I can do with I have a Home Depot. It's a 5 gallon pail that we bought a special lid for that can screw on and off. Nice. And we hike that puppy up into the trees.
Yeah, see, that doesn't have to be hung, so even better.
Yeah. Go.
When you say a hot tent, what exactly do you mean by a hot tent?
So a hot tent is generally, I separate it into some categories, because a hot tent is generally a tent that is made out of canvas. They're not all, but most of them are made out of canvas. Some are made out of sil nylon or ripstop, but they have a wood stove in them or a source of heat. So in the course, in the winter camping course, I separated into hot camping, hot tenting, and cold camping. Okay. So hot camping, I was calling, is when you're using a heat source of any kind in a tent. So like a space heater,
right?
Mr. Buddy, whatever. I don't recommend those, but people do use them, and you have to have a lot of ventilation. There's a lot of accidents that happen with that. So I don't promote it, but like I said, however you want to get out, if it's safe for you, that's fine. And then hot tenting, which is the generally canvas tent with a wood stove inside, or some of them are made out of different materials. So mine are canvas. They're actually made out of painter's drop cloth from Home Depot. So
there you go. It's the new version of Dollarama. Cool.
Yeah.
When I hear some heat source in a tent, I just think fire. I can just think something's gonna.
No, but there is
a fire inside the wood stove.
Yeah,
just like in people's homes, right? I was interviewed by Jill Deacon, who does the CBC Here and Now. Yep. And she was very skeptical about this whole, I said, yeah, if you want to get out in the winter, you can just go to a car campground. There's a lot of them open. Mew Lake is a popular one in Algonquin. You go to the hydro section. Silent Lake has hydro as well. And bring a tent, a 3-season or a summer tent, put a space heater in there, and put a tarp over it, and nice and warm. It gets toasty warm in there. Think of that little space with the space heater in it. Even though it's cold outside, it's still good enough to make you warm in the surrounding area. Like I can sit in there with a tank top and be totally fine in the middle of winter. But, it all depends on, I guess, how brave you are. I don't know. Maybe it scares people, I would think. She was worried it was going to tip over. And I said, well, they have the little switches. And I know this because I was camping in -42. It was one of the coldest weekends ever. It was the coldest place on the planet for 10 minutes. Harvey, the park warden, actually printed off a sheet for us all. And I was in my summer tent with a space heater in it. And I had my space heater sitting on a brownie pan, one of those foil pans. And I had flipped it over because I didn't want to put it directly on the tent because it's nylon, right? Just extra safety.
Right.
And the little button kept peeking, peeking, and it finally dented the foil and it shut itself off. So I woke up at 3:30 in the morning. My Nalgene is like sitting right beside my head. It's got ice. It's frozen solid. I'm like, oh my God, my bed, I had an air mattress. It popped from the cold.
Yep.
And I thought, oh my God, it's 3:30 in the morning. What am I going to do? I'm like freezing to death here. So I get up and I look and I'm like, why is the heater off? Well, earlier we had problems with the breakers going. So I thought, oh no, I'm in trouble. So I'm checking, I pick it up, it starts going. I put it down. I'm like, what's going on? I didn't know there was a switch, right? This is I think a recent thing since like, I don't know when the last time I bought a space heater didn't have one. So as soon as I figured that out, I just put it beside me and I was just like, okay, I'll be fine. And eventually it warmed up. But yeah, after that, camping in -20, no problem. No problem.
Where was this?
Minus
It was
42. It's like, no.
Where was this that it was -42?
Mew Lake in Algonquin Park.
Oh, wow.
-42 at Mew. I have a video and a blog post on it.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it's old school. I think it's actually might just be blog post only.
Well, it's a nice rhyme. -42 at Mew, right?
Yeah, -42 at Mew. Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. Not to be that cold,
Cold,
but
really.
glad that it worked out.
It was very cool, but it was a good time. So, yeah.
Well, honestly, when I watch everybody on YouTube, is like that's probably my favorite thing is when they tell a story that was so awesome for them, whether it was a bad experience, but then it played out well because they're now sitting there telling us the story. So it worked out well, but to get to that point, like that's cool stuff.
You have to share the good and the bad.
Yeah, well, yeah,
you have to, and a lot of people don't do that, and that's something I get a lot of compliments on because one weekend I went out and we pushed so hard through this blizzard to get to this campsite, and I literally threw up when I got there. I was so just the adrenaline and like being freaked out, and you're walking across a lake in a blizzard, it's freezing, you're like totally exhausted, and my body was like, bleh. And I didn't show myself throwing up, but I told everybody about it because people need to know all the good stuff and the bad stuff, because the bad stuff makes the good stuff better and it makes you learn things. But I also hope to have other people learn things from my failures so that they don't go out and have to do the same thing over and also go through that.
Yeah, no, agreed. Learning, you can edit your video to make it be all positive and wonderful and stuff. And then they get out there and go, yeah, no, this is nothing like that video.
Yeah.
That's not going to make them go out the second time. So, and I think we're in agreement that getting people out into the backcountry, especially informed, is an amazing thing. It doesn't have to, I don't care if it's front country or backcountry. I'm a fan of backcountry. I'm happy to go and plunk my butt down at Presqu'île for three days and just chill and listen to all the wonderful birds and stuff. So yeah, no, that's all good. I would sit here all night and just talk camping with you. I've got issues. I don't want to tie it up, but we're starting to head towards the last few minutes.
I want to say one thing, a good suggestion for people who are new. Test out your stuff at home first. It's a really important point. If you don't take a course, which I highly recommend, courses, training, education, gives you confidence. It teaches you so many things. I didn't start taking courses till the last few years, and I was doing so many things that I could have been doing a better way or an easier way. But testing things at home, really important. You got a tarp. Learn how to hang it, make sure you have enough rope, figure out how to tie it, do it a couple times, 5 times in the backyard, set up your tent, make sure it doesn't leak, make sure that when you go out there and you've got your equipment with you, that it's all gonna work, you know how to use it, you can set it up, take it down, and everything goes nicely. It'll help you have a better time.
No, agreed. That's an excellent, I have a book here. This is me going through your course, and I have some experience. I was making notes like, I won't give away, I'll give away one hint.
You can give away something. It's okay.
One,
it's a big course.
Just one. The So, and it makes me sad. I show up at campsites in the backcountry, Algonquin in particular, although we found them on Killarney as well, where they've got the
Paper flowers.
all the things to put on and cook your all the grapes.
Oh yeah,
right.
75 grills.
Oh my
sitting beside the tree.
We found grills. We found fry pans. So many. Just it's like, oh, you took it in, take it with you. Anyhow, that's a personal thing.
That's why I go to Tamagami.
It's it's oh my God, your idea of taking the nice little light bit of foil and wrapping one of those beaters instead of taking, oh, I've been lugging ours with us. Like, what? How did I miss that thought before? Seriously?
Oil is golden. It does so many things.
I know.
The campfire and the rain thing, all that one's too. That I've seen a lot of my videos, and
I wasn't going to give that one away.
Put a little bit of foil on. To always bring a couple of nice big sheets of foil. They take up like this much room. And if it's raining and you can't get your fire going, they've got those grates in most of the parks. Or if you have one of those grills, cover it up, put it up high, and it's like a little campfire umbrella.
Okay, so that's all the secrets we're going to give away, because we want people to take the course. Seriously, I really do.
It's on sale.
Excellent. I thoroughly enjoyed the 5 hours. It didn't feel long. It did when I looked at it at first. Went, what?
You imagine
once
making
I took it? Oh, I can't imagine. Like,
first I wrote it. I wrote the whole course myself. I just sat down and just started going category by category, wrote it all out, and then I recorded it all. And then I had to go through all of my 20 years of camping history and pull little video clips and pictures to match everything that I was talking about. It was insane, that project, but I'm really, really pleased with it. And I only gotten one bad comment. And it's actually funny because I think you'll get a kick out of it. It was somebody that was saying that I was storytelling. And if you've taken the course, so I talk about certain things and then I back it up with my experience of something or some reason, or like you said, there's evidence of how this worked or why it worked. And for some reason, this person thought it was storytelling. And I first I got offended. And then I said, you know what? I think it's a compliment, because if somebody says, don't do this, even a mother to a child or something, you want to know why, right? Why shouldn't I do that? Well, if you don't do this, then this is going to happen and this is going to end, and the bears are going to live, like, or whatever. The bears aren't going to come for the next people because you put your foot away. Like, there's always a reason for everything. And I think sometimes when people have a reason, it makes them want to do it more. But that's just me. So this guy obviously didn't agree, and that's okay. I still have a 4.9 or 4.87 star rating out of 5. So I'm happy with that.
Again, as I said,
164 students, I think, have been
good.
So yeah,
that's excellent.
In a year.
That's 64 more people that are going to be well educated to go and do the things that 164. My bad. shouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us how they can get access to your courses.
The best way to get access, please don't Google it, because Udemy, they like to trick people. And if you just go to Google or Udemy or whatever and you get the course, they get like, I don't know what it is, something like 90% of the money. And if you go through my website, I have links there, or any of my social media pages. I have Camper Christina on Facebook, Camper Christina on Instagram, Twitter, any of those places. But if you go to my website, camperchristina.com, just go to the courses. There's the courses page. It's backcountry camping for beginners and winter camping for beginners. And just click one, it'll give you a description. There's a little video and the link is there. And if you click it and go through, then Udemy gets 3% of the money and I get the rest, which I think I deserve because I made the course.
Absolutely. I can't imagine.
Right now it's on sale because of its backcountry season, and the lowest price I could make it was $27.99. So it's going to sit there for a little while. it's not for me to make a fortune, you know. I go camping year round, like you said, every other weekend. I far outspend what I make in anything on YouTube or courses. But I want people to learn. Yeah, it's nice to have a little bit extra money to go towards my trips, but I want people to learn this stuff so that all of us, you guys and me and everybody that goes out there in the future, will have a great time. That's my goal. So, and that they don't die. Or kill animals.
Perfect.
Or trees.
Dying's bad. Killing trees is bad.
Yeah, don't cut live trees.
I know. Oh,
There's
don't,
another one. Sorry.
don't make me go there. Yeah, no, it makes me so sad. It's like, oh, that's green. That's why it didn't burn, bonehead. That's why it's beside the fire now, because anyhow.
But it's to educate them so that they know the right way. Right?
Absolutely. And
important.
And it is so educational. I like I said, I made a pile of notes going through it, going, can't believe I never thought of that, or never looked at it quite in that way before. It's a fantastic course. The one that I've taken, now I have to take the other one. Yay! I'm going to wrap this up in a. Thank you so much for coming. I've been a fan for a very long time. I've quite enjoyed watching your videos. I can't believe you shoot it on an iPhone, for the record. I know.
I just upgraded too. It's been an iPhone 7 up until the fall. Now I've got the 13 Pro. It's a lot nicer, but there won't be any 4K. Just so people know, I've already got I have 3 external drives, totaling 10, 15, 20 terabytes right now. And that's 5 years worth of. So yeah, there's only so many places that you can juggle these things. So
yeah, no, it's a bit crazy.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to do more video myself this year. I don't want to talk beyond a terabyte, just because I can't. My brain can't handle it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, and hopefully I'll get another invite sometime.
You absolutely will. This has been a real treat. I'm glad you had an awesome time at the show last weekend. I'm gonna go look for more videos because I want to see your
presentation. I'm gonna put my presentation up actually next week. It'll be on my YouTube channel.
Oh, perfect.
Which is the week of May 11th, I guess, because I don't know when this will air. So yeah, you can check it out. It's Ultimate Campsite, so it's pretty interesting. I think it was a good one, but
excellent.
It'll be there.
Very cool. Thanks, Christina. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great one.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.